Hi and welcome into the Kitchen Sink podcast where we talk about everything but the kitchen sink. Okay, how we rolling? I never fucking know. Okay, why do I always start it with a weird okay? I'm gonna try and relax. All right. Welcome into episode 10. Guys, we've done 10 episodes. I'm proud of myself, I'm not gonna lie. Guys, today I've got a very interesting episode planned. Now, next week I do plan on starting the Heartstopper rewatch. If you follow the Instagram, then you'll probably know, and if you obviously have me on YouTube, then you'll also know. I am planning on doing somewhat of a Heartstopper rewatch. I'm not sure in what capacity it's gonna be rewatched during these episodes, just because it's really difficult to try and figure out how to do all like the episode volume, the episode being on screen when you're watching me chat. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously if copyright wasn't a thing, and if these companies just took it as, you know, free promo, because in essence sometimes it is that I'm just giving them free promo, right? Not that Heartstopper needs it, but I'm just saying in general. If copyright wasn't a thing, we wouldn't have to worry about these things, guys, right? You'd get all the content regardless, and like I'd be able to post like much longer, for example, like YouTube videos where I'm doing like obviously reactions to movies and TV shows. You'd get much longer ones. I wouldn't have to worry about the edit half as much if copyright wasn't a thing. But you know what? I understand it. Copyright infringement is a real bastard. But yeah, that's mainly the reason why I'm trying to figure out the best plan of attack for it. And I'm almost leaning towards just doing it in sort of like a recap kind of space where it's essentially that I'm going to watch the episode, write notes as I go, and then I can just come into the podcasts with things I want to chat about, my predictions for season 2, that whole thing. I'm leaning towards that just because that's going to be so much easier to do. And I don't necessarily feel like we need a Heartstopper rewatch, although I know a lot of you would like it. I don't want to become one of those like rewatch channels. And obviously the whole point was for podcast purposes. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Who knows? I might be able to like maybe just react to clips throughout. Do you know what I mean? Because another thing that's also going to be kind of difficult, I don't know why I'm speaking about this in this episode, I guess because it's coming next, but the other thing I've kind of got to think about is like, yeah, I can obviously blur the thing, put it tiny in the corner, that would work. But then it's like they obviously have music in the episodes, don't they? So it'd be like trying to sort all that out. It'd just make this way harder to edit, but I'll figure it out. If you guys have any smart ideas, then please do let me know. But it is what it is. I mean, the other option would be I wouldn't have any audio in, and then I just tell you guys when I'm pausing and playing and you can watch along. Do you know what I mean? That's the only other option, but I'm not sure if people would fuck with that. But anyway, so that's my idea for obviously the next episode. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. If you don't get it next week, then God knows, right? For this week, I'm going to continue on my reign of just passing judgment on others, but we'll get into that in a minute. I've got a few things to mention first. First and foremost, if you're watching, you might notice that I've got a pink splodge in my hair, right? And it's not chic and it's not quiche, and it wasn't intended to happen, right? Before we even get into this, make sure you're following The Kitchen Sink on Instagram, please and thank you, because I tend to post like no context clues and like clips and stuff from the episodes. So if you're interested, please do follow me on Instagram. And that's the Kitchen Sink _podcast on Instagram. My main Instagram is Bradley2Ys_Y. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you've been following me on like Instagram, for example, I've been doing a few like album cover recreations almost. Now I've done like, I think I did YouTube videos in the past where I've done this. Like I did Chromatica, I did Sour by Olivia, I did Don't Smile at Me by Billie, I did Positions by Ariana. That was back in the day. And I've recently started doing them again, and they're so super fun. I'm not sure yet if they're cringy. I guess you guys can let me know, but people seem to live. So recently I've done Crash by Charlie XCX, right? And if y'all have seen that album cover, you'll see that she's covered in blood, right? Obviously it's fake blood, right? So I did just that, and I made a TikTok of it, which is the same username as my Instagram, by the way. But I made a TikTok of it, and I said in said TikTok that I was kind of worried because I wasn't sure if fake blood dyes bleach blonde hair, because I literally have freshly bleach blonded my hair, and turns out it does. Right, surprisingly enough, it's only in one spot, so I think I'll get away with it, and I think with a few more washes it might come out. But so yeah, we're currently rocking a pink splodge. It kind of just makes me look like I'm receding even more than I actually am because my skin is relatively pink. So that's kind of what it's doing for me. It's not enjoyable. It's not what I wanted, but it is a thing. But yeah, so if you're interested in seeing my album recreations, I do post the process on TikTok. And then if they're good and like I enjoy them, then I tend to post the full, like actual finished product on Instagram. So if that's your kind of judge, then please do let me know. And also, I mean, let me know if there's any album covers or single covers that you want me to recreate, because I'm having a good old time, I tell you that. I think the next one I'm going to do is Future Nostalgia. So yeah, I'm not sure when I'm doing that, but I think that's going to be quite a fun one. But anyway, with all that said, that was a few things that I had to speak about at the top of this episode. I guess let's get into the main brunt of this episode, because it's about to be a juicy one and I'm excited. Okay, so what we're doing today is, am I the arsehole? Right, now, some of you might be thinking, Brad, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you, okay? If you're not familiar, essentially, there's this Reddit forum page where people send in situations, not even dilemmas, situations that have happened to them in their lives, and kind of speak through both sides of the story almost and say how they reacted to a certain scenario. And then it's kind of up to the person reading, i.e. in this scenario, me, to basically weigh in on whether I think they're the asshole in the situation or not. And obviously in the last episode, we were doing confessions and stuff, and I kind of leaned into this kind of vibe there, but I kind of liked the idea of literally just reading some random things off the internet. And I like passing judgment on others, obviously when it's warranted and when they ask for it, but I do enjoy it nonetheless. So we're going to continue on this streak. So I'm expecting this to be a juicy one, because I read through some this morning when I first woke up, because I was going to star some, but there were so many that were just really good. So I just thought we'd just scroll and I'd just pick one to go in on, I suppose. Okay, so some of them have like the general consensus underneath, like not the arsehole or like is the arsehole kind of vibe. Let's go for the first one. This one just says, am I the arsehole for suing my parents for my college money? So then you click on it and then it tells you a whole backstory. Here we go. This is lengthy, guys. This is so much fun. Oh my God, I'm living. So, my great aunt set up a savings account for all of her female relatives. In our culture, education for women is not really valued, and she thought that was bullshit. Me and your grandma, me and your great aunt, completely agree. Absolutely. Education for everybody should be valued. Thank you very much. Right? So, continuing. She lived with her father in London, where she was educated. She went on to attend university and became a doctor. She married a British man. They moved to America and had a great life. She funded the education of as many of her nieces and grandnieces as she could. Oh yeah, because in America, you got to pay for all that stuff. Obviously, we can get like student loan and stuff for uni, but college and like school and stuff, that's all free. Is it free? I'm pretty sure it's free. When she passed away, she left money for every girl relative she could. Oh, I can already see where this is going. My parents managed to access the accounts that were set up for my sister and I. They used it to pay for my brother's wedding. My sister didn't care because she got married 2 years out of high school and had no intention of going to college. Oh my God. I already see where this is headed, and I'm getting furious. When I graduated, I went to the bank to get money for school, and it was almost all gone. There was like 13,000 left. I mean, how much is school in America? Fuck me up. Is 13 grand not enough? I know, like, for my uni, like, my student loan, like, they covered 9,000 because that's what my tuition was for uni. And obviously, I have to now pay it back. But $13,000, that's not enough. I asked my parents about it and they said they had needed the money. I finally found out where the money went. I got furious. Bitch, I'm furious too. I got student loans and moved out. So you can choose to do a student loan, but obviously then you've got to pay it back, right? So some people choose just to pay it. That makes sense. I'm a great source of shame to them and I don't give two fucks. Why are you a source of shame? Because you used your own initiative and didn't allow this to mean that you weren't going to school, so you just got student loans and then moved out. I don't blame you for moving out. These parents. The thing is, right, before we carry on, before anyone gets on their fucking high horse, right, I understand parents go through difficult times and are expected to front the costs of certain things. But I still don't think that means they should be tapping into money left by a dead relative for school tuition to front the cost of a wedding. Just do a cheaper wedding. 1 minute, let's just carry on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I am currently suing them for the money that was left for me. My entire family is against me. They all think I am a complete asshole for airing private family business in public and that I am putting money ahead of family. My friends are all on my side, but they are all Americans and don't really get my culture. Neither do I, to be honest, period. I didn't say neither do I. This person wrote that. My brother called me up and offered to pay for my university if I dropped the lawsuit. I agreed as long as we had a legally binding contract. He said I was being an asshole for not trusting him. I said he should not have accepted my money for his wedding. It is causing all kinds of embarrassment for our community. I am somewhat ashamed to be doing this, but I don't want to have this debt I should not have. Oh, guys, and let me know in the comments what you'd say for all these. Like, right, like maybe number 1, asshole or not the asshole, right? Let me know in the comments because that'd be super fun. Because sometimes I'm wrong, right, and I miss things. Okay, so I do think you're in the right to be like, I want a legally binding contract if I'm going to drop this lawsuit. Because although, yes, they're your family, you've got to try and take the family aspect out of this situation, I feel like. And would you allow some other fucker to do this? This is robbery, right? Your dead relative left you money for school so you didn't have to worry about it. Other females in your family and obviously part of your community have benefited from this. Your family have robbed your money to pay for a wedding for your brother. And what I also find really fucking like grating almost is that obviously you said in your culture that females' education and all that stuff is not valued whatsoever, but obviously it's important for men to get their education, right? So there's that as an added layer that now they've decided to take your money that was left to you, a female, so you could get an education, right? To now front the cost of one of the males in your family's weddings who's already had his education. That speaks volumes to me because it's very clear that they really don't think that education is viable for females as part of your community. And obviously I'm not passing judgment on your community. I'm saying your family should abide by your dead relative's wishes and leave that fucking money where it is. If I was you, I'd be pissed off. Now, I don't know if I'd go as far as to sue them, but I mean, if you've got the bollocks to sue them, sue them. And I think you're not the asshole in this situation. You are not the asshole. They're the asshole for sure. Because they should not have taken that money. That's just the beginning and the end of it. right? Now, do I think that the lawsuit is maybe going a tad far? Maybe, but also no, because like I said, take out the fact that they're your family, and you've just got theft, you know? So that's my thoughts on that one. Let's read. Oh my God. Guys, we can read some of the other people's answers, because some people write what they think. Not the asshole. Your parents didn't borrow your money. They stole it. I hope you have all the documents to show that the money was yours. Your brother is also the asshole for trying to get you to drop a lawsuit with what is most likely a lie. Absolutely. That's why I think it's important that you do have some sort of legally binding contract between you and your brother before dropping this lawsuit. Otherwise, I think go through with it. Fuck it. I'm glad I feel validated in that. So there we go, guys. That's the first one. Let me know your thoughts. Is she the asshole? I don't think so. Ooh. I love that they give you a little snippet at the beginning, then you've got to click on it to find out the rest. So this next one, the title is, Am I the asshole for ruining a proposal? Oh, I'm excited. Okay. My girlfriend just bought a house and is so excited. She invited a ton of people over for a housewarming. Love that. That sounds lovely. I really wish I could have had like a flat warming, but I don't really have any friends up here, so it would be hard for them all to come. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd all have to come on the train, and then it's like, where the fuck do I sleep, people? Do you know what I mean? Like, where do I put them? I can't make them all get a hotel. So it just wasn't feasible for me. But I'm really jealous of people that have housewarmings. Like, I would have loved to have a flat warming and like had a party. Although they do kind of scare me, because I do think, like, what if people like ruin things? And people do ruin things. Like, people are animals. Like, and sorry, we'll get back to the thing in a minute, but like, I'm scared to have like my sister's twins over, and like, also my little sister's given birth to baby Madison. She was born on the 15th. How gorgeous! She's really cute. I'll ask her if I'm able to put a picture in. Obviously, if not, then I'm going to abide by my sister's wishes. But yeah, well, my other sister, she's got twins, and like, I'm scared of them coming over, because I'm debating like wrapping my sofa and stuff in like cling film, because they are messy fuckers. But anyway. She put so much work into everything. The house looked amazing, and the food was delicious. I love reading these in an accent, so accent it is. Right. Oh. Right after dinner, while my girlfriend was getting dessert, her brother proposed to his girlfriend. I was mad because he hijacked my girlfriend's event she worked so hard for, because she could answer... Eh? Before she could answer, I told him to sit down and quit being so rude and disrespectful to his sister. He was mad, but his girlfriend looked so embarrassed. They ended up leaving. This is not where I saw this going. The party was very awkward after that. A lot of people left early. My girlfriend's mum was furious at me because she wanted her son to stop living in sin, and I ruined it. Oh, I'm getting religion. My girlfriend said I was sweet, but didn't need to do that. Her brother texted me calling me a... Oh my God. Her brother texted me calling me a prick. Was I the asshole for telling them to have some class? Oh, well, I know where you stand on that. You definitely agree with what you did. To be honest, this one's a sticky one, because I completely agree that it could have chosen any other time, right? And obviously this was like your sister's event that she'd put so much... Your girlfriend's event? Your girlfriend. This is obviously your girlfriend's event that she'd put loads of time into planning. Like, she really went all out for this housewarming. So I do agree that I'm sure there was another time where he could have potentially done this, right? But I do almost think it's one of those situations where maybe you don't all get together very often, and maybe the brother just kind of saw this as like the perfect opportunity, because you're all already together in the same space, to like celebrate this housewarming for his sister. And he's thinking, oh, well, while everyone's here and having a good time, we may as well up the ante and like make it an even more like incredible occasion, and I can propose. Now I do understand, because obviously it's very like stealing the thunder, but to me, I do think, is a housewarming that important? I guess it's not really, that doesn't really matter as such, does it? It's more the principle of doing it during your sister's event. Ooh, now I don't know. The thing is, I feel like you handled it quite well. Like, you didn't get into an argument or anything. You just told him to sit the fuck down. And I also think it was kind of snaky on the brother's part to do it when his sister had gone to get something. What does she go and do? Yeah, while my girlfriend was getting dessert, her brother proposed to his girlfriend. See, that's what makes this shady, that he decided to do it when his sister wasn't there. And also, oh my God, do you know what would have made this even like less stressful and less dickish on the brother's part? Would be like, let the night pan out, right? Let the night pan out. Let your sister serve all the courses, right? Because obviously we were towards the end of the dinner, right? Let your sister do them all. Let her go get dessert. We'll sit down. We'll eat dessert. Then I'm sure a lot of people after that would have like chilled out. We would have had a bit of a party. We would have had a few drinks, whatever. Then's your time to propose if you want to propose. I'm not sure it was the smartest idea of the brother to do it during the 3-course, 5-course meal, right? That's where it's really dickish. And I also don't like the fact that he did it when his sister had gone to get dessert, because that shows that it was like a bit of a snaky situation. You'd want your whole family to be there. Okay, let's read some people's thingies, because I don't think you're the asshole for like stopping the proposal, if I'm honest. If my sister had put on an event and like a housewarming, there'd be no way I'd go to that housewarming thinking I'm going to propose to my boyfriend at this event. Yeah, no, you're not the asshole. So someone's put, not the asshole, it is just plain rude to start hijacking events for your proposal. Oh, my sister bought a new house. Perfect situation to make sure it revolves all around my proposal. Your brother-in-law sounds like a cheapskate who thought he could get away with it. Is he normally so entitled? Oh my God, people are so brutal on this. Yeah, someone put, he tried hijacking someone else's party. Eventually, people need to learn. You need to ask before making someone else's event all about you. This is the thing. Could he not have just asked his sister if it's okay? Like, if he had that planned, could you not have been like, I guess he obviously wants it to be a surprise, but I guess you can just ask your sister if it's her event. Like, hi, Sarah, like, would you mind, like, if I proposed to my girlfriend, just because, like, it's the perfect opportunity. We're all together. We're all at this party. If he'd done that and gone that route, I could see it being fine. Like, I think giving the heads up would have been a big thing. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that one's a real interesting one. Guys, see, I love these because they're not about your typical, like, situations. Like, they're about some, like, random shit that I could never pluck out of thin air. Like, what? Oh my God, these are so recent. Like, there's some that's like 9 hours ago. Someone put this up. God, this is like a big thing. Guys, if you like these episodes, I would happily do loads of these. Like, this could be a running theme. Like these, the Brad Vices, the confessions. This is fun. Anyway, this next one, just by the title, I'm kind of scared. Am I the asshole for not making my sister a bridesmaid because of her looks? Oh my God. Oh, guys, this is a lengthy one, so strap on in. Background. I, 25, female, am a homely looking girl. What's that mean? There is no other way to say it. I'm not hot or even pretty, but by most people's standards. Oh, that's so sad. Babes, don't be so stupid. I'm sure there's loads of people that would find you gorgeous. Wait, if you get married, then there is someone that finds you gorgeous. My sister, 27, female, Bella, is one of the most beautiful women who has ever walked this planet. Fucking hell. Like, got stopped on the street and in the mall multiple times while we were growing up for modelling opportunities. God, that's when you know. When you're getting scouted, guys, that's when you know. Right? I've been scouted once or twice. If you're not watching, I am stroking my eyebrow in a very sassy motion. Anyway, we have different dads, and I guess she just won the genetic lottery. I was jealous of her as a kid, especially because we were always compared to one another. I'm 5'4", average body, slightly below average face. She's 5'11", thin, and all around just really gorgeous. I'm not liking the sense of self-deprecation that I am feeling in this message already, right? This woman, I would like to say, shush. You're beautiful no matter what. She's thinking society standards here. Like, she's clearly got society standards in her head, because she's obviously she's thinking that her sister is gorgeous because she's thin and 5'11", and just because she's short and got a bit more of an average body, whatever that means, right? If you're not watching, I'm doing air quotes right now. Average body. That does not mean you're not beautiful, okay? First and foremost, let's get that out the way. Next, she's also a genuinely great person. She's humble and sweet, and even though she could have made a living off of her looks, she ended up going into social work and now works with kids in foster care. All right, sis, she sounds like a fucking slay. Okay. Her and I are close. I mean, to be honest, that's not unheard of. Like, people want more than just their looks. Like, a lot of people do want that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's loads of people that could have just, like, skated by on their looks, but, like, people do want more from life. So it's not unheard of. And I mean, it makes sense because, like, realistically, like, with your life, you want to make something of your life. Like, I don't think I'd want to, like, if I was, like, this gorgeous specimen. Obviously, if I was passionate about modelling, then sure. But I think otherwise, I wouldn't want to just get into it because it was easy and because it doesn't require hard work. Like, I'd still want to do something that I'm passionate about, personally. Continuing. Her and I are close. We see one another a bit less since she moved to a new city with her husband, but we constantly text and call. I was her maid of honour 2 years ago at her wedding. Okay, where's this going, for fuck's sake? 4 months ago, my fiancé, 30, male, Alan, proposed to me and I said yes. My family was excited for me and they all like him. Him and I have been together for just over 2 years. Bella and Alan are close as well, and we often have them over for dinner and go to their house for game nights. Sounds very cute. Sounds like you're close. I love that, right? I love a close sibling thing. And I also like that you're really close, even considering that you've both got different fathers. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's really nice. Now to the issue. Oh, God, I'm scared. I thought about it a lot and I decided not to have Bella in my bridal party. I just wanted one day where we weren't standing side by side being compared. I wanted to be the pretty one standing at the altar on my day. I've gotten over my jealousy of her for the most part and accepted myself for how I look and who I am. But the thought of everyone looking at her at my wedding broke my heart. Darling, I know you said that you've got over your jealousy of her, but I'm not sure if you have. I'm thinking there might still be a little niggle there, right? Because it sounds like you're holding on to obviously what it was like growing up. A lot of which, like, is probably in your head. Like, I'm sure you're gorgeous also, but just because one person's more typically and what society says is beautiful doesn't take away from the fact that you're also beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this is all coming from a major place of insecurity, which I guess is understandable, but I can see this one being an iffy one for me. She obviously thought that she would be my maid of honour, and so before I asked anyone to be in my bridal party, I went to her house to talk to her. I didn't want her to hear through the grapevine or social media that she wasn't only not my maid of honour, but not in my bridal party at all. When I went over and told her and explained my reasoning, she started to cry. To be honest, low-key understandable, because I do feel bad, because realistically, obviously I've not got to the end of this yet, so I guess we'll see. I'm just, like, struggling because realistically, she's done nothing wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not her fault that you see yourself this way and see her this way. It's not her fault that you've been compared your whole lives. On top of that, she had you as her maid of honour. The least you could do is have her be a bridesmaid or something. Oh, God, this one's an iffy one for me. Next, carrying on. She didn't get mad at me, but she said it was really hurtful that I'd exclude her because of the way she looks. Period. Because it's like if the shoe was on the other foot and she excluded you because she thought you were ugly. Imagine that, because that's essentially what you're doing to her, but it's just because you're coming from a place of insecurity. I'm not sure if that should make it any better. You're still excluding someone based off of how they look. And it's more of like you don't want them to outshine you on your wedding day, which is totally fine. But I think if it's your wedding day, people are there to see you get married. I don't think you need to worry as much about people coming and still comparing you to. I think this is a lot in your head. But anyway, continuing. I understand her point. Her and I are best friends. She's given me a bit of a cold shoulder since this happened, and my parents, both our mum and each of our dads, have called me a major asshole for doing this to her, saying she's more upset than she lets on, but didn't want to taint my day with drama. She RSVP'd to the wedding invite, so I know she'll still be coming no matter what, but I feel bad that I have excluded her just because of her looks now. Oh my God, guys, we've got an edit. Okay. It's because she wrote at the end, so am I the asshole? In my opinion, oh God, this is a difficult one. I think you are the asshole. But it's a very light asshole. Like, it's not like an asshole in like, you're a fucking asshole. It's like a bit of an asshole, right? Bit of an asshole move. Where it's iffy for me is because I do low-key understand, because obviously you are very insecure. It's very clear from the way you've worded, like the way you see yourself and the way you see her. You're comparing each other. Like you are comparing yourself and her, and you have been your whole life, right? This is why I'm saying that from the way you've wrote this, it sounds almost mainly internal, these thoughts and your feelings about yourself, right? And the comparisons, do you know what I mean? But anyway, so she's put, edit. All right, I get in a general sense that people think I am an asshole for hurting her feelings and being insecure and selfish. I've been in therapy for family issues and self-image issues since the day I turned 18. Okay, but it hasn't 100% sorted itself out yet. I work on it every day. I didn't add this in my original post, but I have a facial deformity because my jaw did not form correctly in the womb, leaving my chin and mouth deformed. My family has never let me forget this part of myself. I've cut most of them out of my life, but the trauma is still there. I love my sister, and after talking with Alan, we have decided not to have bride or groom parties at all. I will try to talk to her at some point this week and apologize for letting my insecurities get in the way of our relationship, and explain that I won't have any maid of honor or bridesmaids. I appreciate those who gave perspective without being cruel. I knew Reddit could be harsh, but geez, some of you need the therapy you desperately say that I do. Oh God, that got a bit spicy at the end there. Yes, someone wrote, the softest you're the asshole I have ever bestowed. That is completely my opinion, because at the end of the day, it is your wedding, right? I understand insecurities, best believe. Oh, honey, I can only sympathize, right? I completely get it. But it is just a bit dickish that obviously you've had to let your insecurities get in the way. Now, it's not as easy as like, because if you weren't insecure and you were just doing this just because you thought that she was prettier than you and like it was coming from more of a spiteful place, then it would be different. But obviously, with how you've grown up and how like you've been born like with your facial deformity and how your family's not let you live it down and like you've constantly had to face it, right? Obviously, that adds a whole added layer, right? I do still think you're a little bit of an asshole, but I think it is also a bit justified. Doesn't make it any better, but it is justifiable. Does that make sense? That's where I'm at with that one. And I do feel bad for you that obviously like your insecurities are so bad and you see yourself in such a negative light that you felt that you had to do that, because insecurities are a real bastard, right? And they make us do some silly things. Let's read some more of these replies because I enjoy getting other people's perspectives. This is fun. Someone put, "You're the asshole. You say that Alan and Bella get on and you don't seem eaten up with insecurity over their relationship. He asked you to marry him, not your sister. Nobody else's opinion matters, surely. Who cares what Auntie Mary's husband's brother thinks?" Literally, that is so true. And if someone's coming to your wedding and makes you feel any less than the beautiful bride that I'm sure you're going to be, then that speaks way louder about them. And I don't think you need to worry about it. Does that make sense? But anyway, that's my thoughts on that one. That was a riveting one. Oh my God. Oh, that's a spice. Anyway, let's continue. We can do a few more of these. I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? These are really situations that you don't hear about often. I love this. I mean, I love discussing people's lives that have nothing to do with me. Oh, okay. Next one. Which one do we do? Guys, there's so many good ones. This is so much fun. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she's the reason our parents are divorcing? And the general consensus on this one says not the asshole, so I'll be the fucking judge of that. I love that they're really long too. I love all the backstory. Guys, I am living my best life currently, okay? If you're ever bored and like you're just like chilling with friends, like read through some of these. This is so fun and like gets discussion rolling. Okay. About a month ago, my 24 male... What? Oh. About a month ago, my parents... 24 male... wait a minute. Okay. About a month ago, my parents, they're 55 female, 57 male, and we're 24 male, announced they were getting divorced. This has been quite a shock to most people as they seemed to be having... I'm struggling here. This has been quite a shock to most people as they seem to be having... This doesn't make sense. I'm not struggling. This just doesn't make sense. This has been quite a shock to most people as they seem to be having no issues out of the ordinary. Okay, they didn't put no, but okay. However, I have been the one privy to the information of why they are divorcing. I fucking love the word privy. I have been privy to the information. Oh, that is such a bad bitch word. It's because of my sister, Anne. Oh, she's 26 and she's female, so she's older than us. Okay. Anne is a deadbeat. She has never worked more than 14 hours a week since getting expelled from college for multiple acts of cheating and code of conduct violations 5 years ago. Oh my God, Anne. All she does is sit at home most days watching TV or going over to her loser boyfriend's house to get high. Oh God, Anne, we're not doing well here. She feels no need to support herself and expects my parents to carry her through life. She's been in therapy since she was 14, but cannot keep one. She's been in therapy since she was 14, but cannot keep one for more than a year because she gets dropped as a client due to her lying and inability to show up to appointments. My parents have spent over a decade trying to get some mental issue pinned down for Anne, and all they've gotten is she's just a lazy narcissist. Anne! I'm sorry, but also she's 26. You're still acting like a fucking teenager at 26. Ooh, babes, we're going to need some words. Carrying on. Last year, my mum decided enough was enough and planned to kick Anne to the curb and wash her hands of her. You know what? I don't blame her. Dad disagreed, and in the end, the two's marriage got torn apart. I know because both have come to me, basically admitting that if Anne was not a factor, divorce would not even be a consideration. Oh my God, you know firsthand that that's the tea. I don't get along with Anne for a variety of reasons. She has always been a bully and owes me a large sum of money at the moment. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm sure she spent it on fucking weed and whatever else. The thing that boils my blood, though, is that she's oblivious to the situation between our parents or just doesn't care. She has a literal tantrum when the possibility of the house being sold came up because she didn't want to have to move to an apartment with my dad. Bitch, get a grip. You're the fault that our parents are getting divorced and you have the nerve to throw a tantrum just because you've got to move into a new apartment. Last night I found myself at my parents' house and had the misfortune of talking to Anne. God, I love the way you wrote this. This is so super slay. Anne mentioned that she's getting really sick of my mum's melodramatic shit, that was in quotes, and not leaving the house, and not just leaving the house to her and my dad. Something struck me at that moment, and I just asked Anne, oh God, that's hard to say, and I just asked And if she really does not care that she's such a selfish, garbage, waste of space human that she's driven her parents to get a divorce, I elaborated and told her the full truth that she is in fact the only reason they are getting a divorce, because mum's finally realised that there is no hope and will never grow up. The last part. The shitstorm this caused was massive. Anne acted as if I sold her out to the Romans, and my parents argued between she deserved to know and we told you that in confidence. Because Anne cannot keep her mouth shut either. The entire extended family has begun to hear too. I want to know before opinions start forming outside the inner circle if I am the arsehole here. Ooh. This one's a difficult one. I've said that about every single fucking one. I don't think it's that difficult, actually. First of all, my first point is we've got to understand that tensions were obviously running very, very high, right? You've been this outside perspective almost, obviously, while still getting the inside scoop. Does that make sense? Like you're seeing everything, right? You're seeing all the things that are going down, right? I've been this in my family sometimes. I can tell you right now, it is exhausting. Right? You're this kind of outside perspective where your family members are coming to you in confidence, like they said. Both of them came to you separately and like confided in you and told you because you are the sibling that obviously isn't a fuck up, can handle this information well they thought you could, right? And obviously you've had to take all this on board whilst also seeing firsthand all the bullshit that Anne's been doing, and you've been actively watching this catalyst essentially implant itself and just tear apart at your parents' fucking relationship, right? So, I don't think you're the asshole. I think Anne deserved to know. I think it's about fucking time, because how long are we about to mollycoddle Anne for? Right? Now, if she's obviously got some sort of like behavioral issues or a mental health issue, then fine, but we need to get that diagnosed, right? If there's a reason behind some of this behavior, then by all means, let's get that diagnosed, right? Could not agree more. But it sounds to me like you've said, she's kind of thought that she can just kind of skate through life being a piece of shit, and she probably knows, because she's been doing it for probably fucking ages, that your parents will put up with it, and she's become kind of like accustomed to getting away with this kind of behaviour, right? So I think Anne definitely deserves to know, regardless of whether you've hurt her feelings or not. I couldn't really give a flying fuck. I'm just not here for this obliviousness. And I also don't even imagine she is that oblivious. Like, I'm sure that she can see that her behaviour is affecting your parents' relationship. And I won't be surprised if she knew as soon as they announced a divorce, the reasons why. Because you've got to think, like, yes, although it's your child, like, because it's your child and it's up to your parents to obviously bring you up in a great way, they're going to feel like they've failed one of you. And they're going to probably like be wondering what they could have done differently, and like the emotions are going to be very fucking high within their relationship. So it's not surprising to me that it's driven them to divorce, because obviously they didn't agree on kicking her out in the first place, which I think is baffling. How can you not agree that at some point, right, you can only do so much for someone until you've kind of just got to set them free and they've got to learn the hard way. That's how I've been brought up, and that's what I believe. I think put as much effort as you can into someone, right? But how long are you going to do that for? I think there's got to come a time where you've got to assess whether the effort that you're putting in is being reciprocated, and you can see effort from the other party. In this instance, obviously, the parents were trying to get her diagnosed with some sort of behavioural issue, mental health issue, who knows. In turn, Anne wouldn't even go to the fucking therapy sessions, which I'm sure your parents still had to pay for. Because I imagine it's one of those things where, like, even if you don't turn up for the session, you'll still be charged. So I assume that your parents have probably put so much money into getting her some therapy, trying to flush out these issues, and she's not given two shits. So it's also financial issues on your parents' side. And on top of that, just like, you're 26. Yeah, that behaviour might have been acceptable when you were growing up and like your hormones are sky high and you're going through it, right? Fair enough, but you're 26. You've got to take some responsibility. And like, if I was in their position, I would have kicked her out for sure. And the fact that the dad disagreed is beyond me. But anyway, let's see what some people have said. Nope, not the asshole. Sorry, some tough love is needed with Anne. Absolutely, that's what I was getting at. Doubt she's ever going to get her shit together, but she needed to hear it. Not everything is about her. Hopefully she can get her act together and be a contributing member of society, and your parents can get back together with some therapy. This is the thing. It's not all lost for your parents because they've acknowledged that, like, she's the main reason. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did cut her off. I won't be surprised if, obviously, like, with a bit of couples therapy, I'm sure they'd be back onto it. Because they'd assess the situation and realise that without Anne as, like, a burden, their relationship can once again flourish. Oof, this is good, this. Someone just put, not the asshole, daddy's girl needed to have a reality check. That's what it gives. That's what it gives. Especially seen as, like, the dad was the one that agreed that she shouldn't be kicked out. Absolutely. And I'm not going to go into detail of how I know firsthand that I'm sure that's the case. But anyway, not the asshole. You're just the one that exposed the ugliness to the light. Don't shoot the messenger, basically. This is the thing. Obviously, your parents are going to be mad at you because obviously they did tell you this in confidence. So I can see why your parents are mad. But I won't be surprised if secretly they're like, oh, thank fuck someone's told her. Do you know what I mean? I would not be surprised. And I reckon... Give it a few more weeks, give it a few more months. I reckon they'd be thanking you. And I won't be surprised if, like, yeah, the outskirts of the family, right? Yeah, they're finding out. But I'm sure they'll be in complete agreement when they figure out and, like, learn of all the bullshit that Anne's been up to. Absolutely. I don't think you need to worry about people finding out. I think Anne's the one that needs to worry. But anyway... Let's continue, guys. I reckon we could do one or two more. One more if it's a long one. Obviously, two more if they're short. Ooh, okay. Am I the asshole for calling my husband a fucking asshole in front of our kids? Now, the general consensus on this one is asshole. So I guess we'll see. This is the first one where it's been like they're the asshole as the general consensus that I've clicked on. So... let's go. This one's a relatively long one, so I'll see how long it takes, as this might be the last one. Let me preface this story by stating that I'm a person living with multiple disabilities which affect my vision, mobility, and mental health. Okay, I'm glad you've given us that. I have been living with these conditions for the past 10 years, but the last year has been really hard. So last night we went to an event as a family, my husband, 2 teenagers, and I. It was stormy out. High winds, snow, icy sidewalks. We had to park maybe 400 metres away from the venue. When we walked to the venue, it was daylight and the sidewalks were passable. My husband and kids walked ahead of me. I was a bit annoyed, but I let it go, not wanting to ruin the evening. Okay. Weird, but all right, moving on. After the event, we left. I turned away from my family for maybe 20 seconds to say goodbye to someone who sat with us at the event. When I turned around, my family was halfway to the car. I was really annoyed. Okay, but they're still in your eye line. Okay. I trudged through the dark, snowy weather. I literally could barely make it to the car because the wind was so strong and the sidewalk was quite icy at this point. I finally made it to the parking lot and my husband pulled the car out of the parking spot and picked me up probably 10 feet from where we were parked. I got in the car and said, "Thanks a lot for waiting for me, fucking asshole." My husband acted surprised and said he planned to bring the car around to pick me up. Hearing is not one of my disabilities and my family never told me this was the plan. Ooh, I can see where this is going. We had told the kids we'd go for their favourite restaurant afterwards and we drove there in awkward silence. When we got there, my husband acted all sulky, didn't order food and was staring at his phone. I looked at him and told him he at least owed me an apology. He said, "I'm sorry, it was a misunderstanding. My daughter at 19 said I was ruining the night. I let it go, but I'm still upset by the situation. So here I am, prepared for an honest judgment. Am I the arsehole? Sorry, but low-key, yes. Sorry, but low-key, yes. I don't necessarily think any of your disabilities have a play in this scenario, I don't think. It affects your vision, mobility, and mental health. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything we need to take account for there. Maybe the vision, but I don't know. You seem to know exactly where they were. But anyway, I think what's gone amiss here, and I think it was a misunderstanding. I can kind of see from your perspective, I guess, that you obviously, like, they were walking a bit in front of you on the way there, and they left you on the way out. Weird, but okay, I guess I can kind of see it. But where I think the misunderstanding has occurred is, I imagine your husband's thought, right, she's gonna say bye to this person. I'm not sure how long it can take, because I mean, some women do like to chat. Like, my mum's the same. She can go over to someone and just want to say bye, but she'll end up having like a 10-minute conversation. So I imagine from your husband's perspective, right, he probably thought, right, I'll take the kids to the car while she's saying bye to this person. I don't want to rush her, but I'll take the kids to the car using his initiative, right? He'll take them to the car, and I'll bring the car closer, so it means that she doesn't have to trudge through the stormy weather, right, to get to the car on her own. That's what I see your husband doing in this situation. I think that's what he was trying to do, right? Now, obviously, because you saw them leave and you'd already kind of been pissed off the first time on the way there when they were walking in front of you, it's a weird thing to be mad about. I guess, obviously, like, because of the weather, you were kind of like, I guess, wary, I assume. But you did say it was daylight, so, like, you can see where you step in. Do you know what I mean? Like, the winds weren't that high when you were on the way there. So I don't know about that. But my question is, like, what was up with just, like, ringing him, dropping him a text? If you didn't feel comfortable going out in the weather that obviously was presenting itself outside, and if you felt unsafe, because I assume that's where this is coming from, you felt a bit unsafe with obviously how high the winds were, the snow, the ice, all that stuff, that you didn't want to fall, which is completely understandable, right? What was up with just, like, maybe dropping him a call? Because, I mean, you could see him. Drop him a call or drop him a text and just be like, can you bring the car over? I don't necessarily think you had to make a point that you were unsafe and, like, make your own way to the car even though you felt unsafe, and then take it out on your husband when you could see that he was obviously trying to come towards you because he moved the car before you got there. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a typical one of those situations where it was just a misunderstanding, and it was like emotions were running high, I'm sure. But I don't think you necessarily need to call your husband a fucking asshole. Now, don't get me wrong, like, you said in front of your kids, that's not really a huge point, because, I mean, you mentioned one of your kids was 19, so I don't think you need to worry about the language, because my thought was, like, was this, like, some young kids that you've said this to? But anyway, let's read some of these replies. You're the asshole. It sounds like this was a miscommunication. When you're at the point where you're talking like this to your husband in front of your kids, it's time to get help with your anger or figure out how to separate peacefully. Oh my God, some of these people on here. Oh my God, wait, guys. We've got an edit. She's wrote an edit, obviously after being told that she's the asshole. I accept my judgment that I was the asshole. I just spoke to my husband and apologised. He conceded, don't know what that means, that he didn't communicate well, and I told him that I shouldn't have blown up at him. Okay, great communication. Interesting to me that you needed to be told by Reddit that you were the asshole to then go and apologise to your husband. Interesting, but okay. I also apologise to the kids. I still feel hurt that they took off without saying anything, but I completely overreacted, and I will do better moving forward. Good. Well, yeah, because, I mean, he could have probably just tapped you and been like, Susan, just so you know, I'm just going to go take the kids to the car, but I'll bring the car round. You take your time. It was a miscommunication on both ends. I don't know if it warranted the language and the reaction from you that he got, but oh well. I did not preface my post in order to garner sympathy. I was explaining why it was a big deal for me to be left to walk the car unattended. Okay, I see that. I also did not time how long I spoke to the person we sat with, not a stranger, but I literally said goodbye and asked her to keep in touch. I didn't have a full conversation with her. By the time we finished talking, I couldn't really see my husband and kids, so I started walking by myself to the car. When I got to the parking lot, my husband was just pulling out. Last bit. I absolutely agree that my reaction was inappropriate, but please don't make it sound like I'm some horrible person who my family hates. My children are my life, and I have a very good relationship with them. I had a bad night, and I apologized. I'm not a villain. I mean, yeah, people don't need to go in, but I guess it is Reddit, right? I don't necessarily think you were the villain. I can imagine how you felt because I'm sure you did feel a bit abandoned. Like I said, it was definitely a bit of a miscommunication on both ends. And I mean, sometimes we just say things we don't mean. And I mean, calling your husband a fucking asshole is not that bad. Because I'm assuming, like, if you've got several kids, you've been together for a while, you know each other very well. I could have chosen another few words. Do you know what I mean? Like, a fucking asshole is not the be-all and end-all. And your kids aren't exactly young. From obviously you just saying that you've got one child that's 19. I imagine they're all around that age, like at least in their teen years, you know? So I don't think Reddit needs to go in on you. But yeah, I mean, what we've learned from this episode, I guess, is that Reddit is really helping people see clearly, which is crazy to me. The fact that she took to Reddit and then obviously decided then that she needed to apologize to her husband. That's wild. Someone put, you don't do these things in front of your kids. If you'd spoke to him like an adult, you'd know he was bringing the car to pick you up before spewing vile names. Communicate and ask for help when you need it. This is the thing. You could have, like I said, you could have just texted him, give him a ring, be like, have you gone to get the car? And then it'd have been like, oh yeah, I have. I'll bring it round to you. Don't you worry. You stay there, babes. You stay there. Don't need you falling. It's crazy weather. I'm like, that could have been the conversation. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. Some of these things are avoided. Sometimes these things happen. It's not that deep. You called him a fucking asshole. I've called many people in my life worse, and they still love me. Right? But anyway, I guess with that all said, I am going to leave this episode here. This has been so super fun. Let me know if you'd like me to do some more of these, because these are so fun. I really do enjoy. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've had a great time. It's so nice. It's so nice when people have got worse problems than you have. I tell you what, my life is hunky dory. All right. Love you guys lots, and that is another episode down the drain. Goodbye.